Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for hopping on. Um, the meeting is being recorded. We're doing some troubleshooting with live streaming to YouTube, but if not, the Zoom meeting itself will be recorded and we'll upload it afterwards. So to get started, I will just go over some quick updates real quick, and then we can open it up for questions if that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna just start sharing my screen. Can everybody see my screen? Or like a thumbs up?
We could see your screen.
Okay, cool. All right, so just move the controls here. Okay, all right. So, so the requirements of the competition remain largely the same. But because we've gotten or received a high volume of registration so far, we just made some adjustments to our logistics. And I've been getting a lot of questions about the submission instructions. So I'll go over that as well. So just a reminder, the registration form is due on Thursday, July 23rd. That has not changed. Since orientation, originally we said the team limit would be 10 members, but now the team limit is 8 members, just because we have such a high volume of participants. So your team should be no larger than 8 members. And then also we will now be using a submission form to accept project submissions. So I can go through what that looks like. So this is what it looks like. And I just want to show you real quick how you would submit this forms. So I would put in my email and then I'll put okay. And then I would put in my name. Um, I'll put group and then I would put in my teammates' names or sorry, I'll put in Davina's name as an example. And then if I did not have a team, I would just do individual. I would put NA over here, and then I would put NA over here if I didn't have a team. Okay, so then I'll hit next. And the next set of questions just asks about your interest in the Research Symposium event, which I'll also go over. So our Research Symposium event has been moved to August 22, just so that we have a little more time to grade. And then all of you also get a break after the program ends. Um, and so for the event, we're going to require that you submit an abstract and a visual presentation, which I'll go over. If your project already includes those things, you don't need to make multiple versions. So let's say I'm interested, or let's say I'm interested, but I'm not available to attend. You can select that as well. Then you want to select if you want to present it live or a pre-recorded video. So if I were able to attend, maybe I would want to present it live. Um, if I want to attend, but nobody in my team or I can't make it, then I could submit a pre-recorded video. And then this is just confirming that you understand the requirements for the symposium event. So hopefully you select yes, or you're not interested. And then this just asks if you'd be willing to hang on a little bit longer at the symposium if we're running a little bit behind time. So let's say maybe. And then you hit next. And then you want to go ahead and submit your project files here. So um, if for any reason you have like an issue with submitting a link to your project files, you can still submit this form, but you will just need to email me your project files immediately afterwards. And it would be great if you can include your name or your team name, the title of your project, and the necessary project files. Again, that's only if you have an issue like linking your project here. And then if you're interested in the symposium event, just make sure that your project has an abstract and some type of visual presentation. And then we'll also need to see proof of your live project progress or edits in your submission. And then we have a recommended file naming convention. So let's say my project is, I think our project title was Maternal Health Disparities in the US. And then I would want to link my project here so I've already pre-made an example Google folder. So I would just click on share. Make sure that either anyone with the link can view it, or if you don't feel comfortable with that, just make sure you share it with me so that I have access to it and then I can share it with others in our team. So you'll go ahead and copy the link and then you can paste it here. And as you can see, my link contains all my project files and follows the naming conventions. So the recommended naming convention is to put your team name or your last and first name, put underscore and the type of file that it is, or the submission type rather. So I have my research paper, my abstract, my video, for example, and then put underscore MSP Symposium 2026. That's just really helpful when we're sorting through all the projects and grading everything. It just helps us keep track. That would be great if you're able to do that in your folder. And then just confirm that everything works. So I can just click on one of my files as an example and just show that everything works. And then click on yes, I included the links on this Google form. And then if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can put that here. And then you can hit submit. And if anything comes up, if you submit it early, you're welcome to edit your response. If you had any issues putting a link, just make sure you email me ASAP. All right. And then, so for what's acceptable submissions, just make sure your submission is well researched with cited references and include a written component. So that can be an abstract or like a formally written paper. And you can email me if you email me or info@medstempowered.org if you have a question about submitting some other format. I included some examples of successful submissions that we've seen. So a formally written paper satisfies all the requirements. You won't lose points if your bibliography exceeds the page limit, so don't worry about that. A pre-recorded video with a brief abstract, and an abstract is just a summary of your research, which is 200 to 500 words for this competition is also great. If you want to submit a paper with presentation slides or a poster, that's also great. A paper and a pre-recorded video is also great. If you submit a video alone or presentation slides alone, that technically won't be sufficient. You need to, with a pre-recorded video, I recommend including a brief abstract. And with presentation slides, I recommend at least including like a paper alongside the presentation or a video explaining it. And then also just include proof of your live project progress or edits in your submission. I didn't have time to upload an example of that in mine, but in the case study competition last year, some examples that we saw that were really great was a link to a Google document where we can view your edit history. So we'd be able to see your version history and like see all the edits that you've made. A Microsoft Word document with track changes, same thing, handwritten notes, a document with annotated resources. So if you have like a list of all your sources and you're writing notes about each one of them, that's also great. Screenshots of brainstorming ideas in a group chat. We got a few of those this year, and that was really great. And we just request that to make sure that you haven't used generative AI in a way that you weren't supposed to in your project. For the symposium event, again, this is going to be on August 22. And this is optional. You can still participate in the competition. And if you don't want to attend the event or you're not able to, that's totally fine. You're still going to be eligible for awards and such. Just this event is an opportunity for you to connect with your MSP peers and top participants. Even if you're not submitting something, we'll invite you to attend if you want to see what other people have made. Um, and we'll have guest judges as well. And we'll have more details on that later. Again, to be considered, you need to include a brief abstract and a visual presentation in your project submission, and just do that by the due date. So a brief written abstract is 200 to 500 words for this particular competition. You don't need to like aim for 500 words. We're just giving you a little bit of room so that you don't feel like pressured to edit your writing a certain way. And if you need help with that, we can help you. Um, and I have, under the resources section, added some information about what an abstract should look like. And there's a few of those resources. It's really just a summary of your work. So if you have like your hypothesis, your methods, your results, and discussion, for example, you would want to write like a 1 to 2 sentence summary on each of those sections. It's very brief. It's like basically helping the reader get an overview of what the project is about before they read the entire thing. And that will help us select projects that we want presented at the symposium. And then also for the symposium event, you want to include a visual presentation. So that can be slides, a video, or a research poster. And then if you have a different format in mind, just reach out to me and we can confirm if that's okay. And then a research paper alone for the event is not sufficient to present at the event, because the idea is when you're presenting at a symposium event, you want to present your work in a way that's easy for your audience to see and understand. So we don't want you just like reading over your research paper at the event. But even just like a research poster would be great if you want to present it live. And then again, you're able to submit a video or a presentation and be eligible for various awards, regardless of whether or not you attend the event. Okay. And then also office hours are now available. So if you go to the itinerary page and type in our password, then you'll be able to see our office hours schedule over here. And I've also included it in our Canva slides as well. I have a screenshot of it here. And I've updated, I think, the information on here. I just need to put the Google form for the submission here. And yeah, so those are all the updates that I have. And now we can open it up for questions. Go ahead, Matthew.
So I have two questions. First, how detailed does like our presentation need to be if we're like going to participate in the competition?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for that, so we recommend keeping your video presentation, if you do a video, around 10 minutes. That gives enough time to like just go through what you would have in a paper, I think. If you don't want to submit like a research paper and you prefer to do a video, that I would consider to be like thorough enough to go through all the sections. Um, we're gonna have some of our research mentors are gonna have workshops on how to present your project. Krish in particular, his workshop is a little bit towards the end, but he has a great workshop on that. Um, and then let's see. And then for presenting live at the symposium, you could submit that 10-minute pre-recorded video, or you could present live. If you're presenting live, depending on the nature of your presentation or how detailed your paper was, like between like 8 to 15 minutes is fine. We recommend not exceeding 15 minutes. That's like really the limit. Like around 10 minutes is plenty. Does that help answer your question, or do you have some follow-up questions?
Okay, yeah, that answered my first question. My second one was so for that like live competition, if you like win or you say, like is there like advancing into something else or is there like some type of like ending reward or something?
Um, yes. So, in a sense. So basically when you submit your project, um, that's when we'll so our idea is to consider the top participants for the symposium, like advancing, if you will. We might not accept all project submissions to present at the symposium. We're gonna try to select the top few to present. Um, and then after the symposium ends, or at the symposium itself, rather, we hope to have some guest judges, and that will do some live scoring of your project. So, we'll incorporate that into the grading, and you should be eligible for speaking awards, for that. And then once the competition ends, or once the symposium event ends, it'll be just that. So there won't be another event after that. That's like the final event.
Hmm, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Um, sorry, guys, just give me one moment. Okay. All right. Donga, sorry if I mispronounced that. You can go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I had a question. So just to confirm, for the sim only allowed to present with like an abstract and a visual presentation.
Yeah, so the abstract is mostly for us to get an overview of what your project is, as we're going through the submissions, because we will get a lot of submissions. Um, at least we're anticipating so far. And actually, a lot of research conferences or symposiums outside of MSP work that way. They generally want to see an abstract, because otherwise they would have to read like hundreds of really long papers. So that's like kind of mostly for our end, but also it's just good practice for you. During the event, you're welcome to go through your abstract a little bit, but you don't have to. You can just present your project like with your presentation or your video. So yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, so my group is doing a research. Are you going to be grading the research paper or like the visual presentation that we're going to be doing live?
We'll be grading both. So for the competition submission requirements, for the competition itself, rather than the event, like even a paper is just sufficient, and we're going to be grading those. Like the category awards will kind of depend on the nature of submissions, as it kind of varies each year. Um, but I am thinking of leaning towards having awards for written papers, like best written papers, and awards for presentations slash speaking awards. So because we will grade your papers if you submit a paper. And then also if you want to participate in the symposium event, or even if you're unavailable to participate at the event, but you want to receive a presentation award or be eligible for one, we'll grade those too. And then when we're doing so on the rubric, we have the different categories that we're grading. When we're selecting like the overall winners, it'll be kind of like a holistic review of all the projects we receive. Um, it just kind of depends. Like if someone has like a really, really phenomenal paper, but they didn't do like a video project, it's possible that they can still get like first, second, or third place, for example, in the overall. I feel like it might be a little bit more challenging to do that. But if someone submits like a really excellent paper and like a really amazing presentation, then that probably gives you more chance to place higher in the competition and or receive more awards. Does that make sense?
Yep, thank you.
Mhm. Okay. Are there any other questions?
I seen there was a someone said like when is it gonna start? That hasn't been like chosen yet, right? Like usually Davina says like an announcement before, or has it already been chosen?
So, so the event is set to, I think I put it in the Google form. I don't know if I typed it on the document. I can double check. But we're thinking it should start at 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then we're still deciding the final like overall schedule. Again, it also depends a little bit on the nature of the submissions and who we end up selecting to present. Um, but it will start at 9 a.m. most likely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mhm. Um, are there any other questions? Also, if you have like one-on-one questions, we can end the live stream and do like a breakout room. I can hang on for a little bit, that sort of thing. One-on-one questions that they want to ask. Um, okay, I'll go ahead and we can stop the live stream recording. Um, okay. Um, if there's no more questions, then we'll go ahead and end the meeting. But if anything comes up, feel free to message me or reach out. All right. Okay. Thank you guys for coming. Bye. Thank you.